So I had to give instructions, tell everybody what to do, what they needed. She gave birth to the baby in the bathtub, but the baby wasn't breathing. So that was kind of my like, oh God.
Hi, welcome into Shed Talk. I'm your host, Sean, where we have inspirational stories and talk to small business owners all over the country. Also, we get some crazy stories. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
All right, welcome back into Shed Talk. I got a nice guest to come on here. She's going to tell us a little bit about her career and what she does with law enforcement. She's the person that you speak to whenever you're in a bad situation. As soon as you call 911, she's the dispatch that picks up the phone. Welcome in, Ashley. How you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thank you for coming on here. A lot of people really want to know exactly what goes through your mind from the first time you talk to someone. But before we get down that path, I want to know exactly what made you decide to get into dispatching for 911.
So that it was never planned. I always knew I wanted to do something to help the community. I went to college for social work. Um, College wasn't for me, and that's fine. It's not for everybody. Um, and I actually saw a job listing for 911 dispatcher, and I didn't get it. But then I applied for another one, and I got that. Um, and then I found out my grandma, she passed away before I could ever meet her. That's actually what she did. So it kind of became like a full circle, like this is what I'm supposed to do. This is my connection to my grandma that I never got to meet. So I've stuck with
Right.
it since.
Yeah. You've been there for how many years? What, you going on 10 years? How many years do you think you're out to?
I lose count. I think about 10 years.
10 years.
They all
Yeah.
kind of,
And
yeah.
you enjoy what you're doing, obviously. You've been there
Hmm.
for a
I
decade.
do.
So
Hmm.
so let's walk us through whenever the first person, whenever they call you with an emergency, what is the steps that you take going through that?
So whenever you call 911, it depends on if you're calling from a landline or a cell phone. A lot of people don't have landlines, so we'll go with cell phone. Whenever you dial 911, your
Hmm.
phone pings off a tower, and through that tower, you get routed to the nearest PSAP, which is the public safety answering point. So if you're close to my area, you would get me. I would ask you for your address, your name, your phone number, because those are obviously those address and phone number is most important because if we get disconnected, I need to know where I'm sending them. Um, and then
Right.
from there, I just ask you all the questions I need, and then I get you the help you need.
Yeah. So you go through the process. I mean, I'm pretty sure you have some wild calls. Just without giving out any personal information, can you tell us one of those crazy calls where you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they called about that?
Um, yeah, there's so many. I've really thought about this one. The first one that stuck out of my head was probably a motor vehicle accident. It was in, well, first, to kind of give you a scenario, like the situation, my caller did not know English, very minimal English. So it's hard. And just trying to piece together and using all the different systems we have to track his location, he ended up being in a parking garage. And in this parking garage, it was on the very lowest level. Like all I could understand was vehicle female. Um, and it ended up being an intoxicated female. And the story she gave, we don't know if it's true. She thought she was driving towards the exit of the parking garage and she went full speed into a wall on the lowest level.
Wow.
And with it being on the lowest level, the ambulance couldn't get to her, the fire truck couldn't get to her. So they had to wheel everything to her. And
Oh,
this
that
motor,
is right. Because they got
Mhm.
that what's that
Yeah,
that warning bar for the
yeah, the
vehicles that
bear,
go
yeah,
in there, and the ambulance is too high for them. I
yeah,
think they ought to. They
yeah.
might shit. They might as well start investing in trying to change the parking garages to where
Hmm.
medical services can get into those places.
Yeah. It would be convenient. I mean, they were able to get the stretcher and everything to her. Thankfully in a timely manner. She
Hmm.
made it. She was in very critical condition. She was in the hospital for a long time,
Hmm.
rehab after that. I mean, that was an accident that should have been a fatality. So it just crazy
Right.
using all the different sources that we do have available. Um, that one's just that one was mind blowing to me, especially with her recovery.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it whenever you said she was on the lowest level of the
Hmm.
parking garage. There's nothing behind that but ground and earth.
Hmm.
So she
Yeah.
pretty much just there was no give to that at all. I mean, thank God that she was able to survive that accident there, you know.
Hmm.
Um, so you said that initially, whenever they call, you have a system that is set up that it tries to ping exactly where the caller is at. What do you
Hmm.
do in case that somebody calls and they're in a situation and the phone disconnects and you can't and they don't pick up the phone? What's the next steps for you to do there?
So we do have we have multiple sources to, depending, we can always ping a phone through a cell phone carrier, but we do have quicker ways. Whenever you call 911, it'll immediately show us what tower you're pinging off of. And from there, it's continuously working to target your location. And with how advanced technology is today, it's pretty quick. Even if
Okay.
you have a disconnected cell phone, because if it's disconnected, you can still call 911. We still can get a general area.
Okay, here's another question. This is going off of, today's technology and everything.
Hmm.
Would you say that AI is playing a part in 911 dispatching? You think is in the future, or are you guys taking part of that or anything?
So I've heard of it being incorporated. I don't know about, so my agency specifically, we haven't incorporated it yet. I know there was talks of doing it with our non-emergency lines because we do dispatch for multiple agencies. So whenever if you were to call the non-emergency, it'll ask, what do you need? And if you say courts, then you'll get transferred over to courts instead of all the calls cycling through us. So it's helpful to take kind of a load off of us constantly transferring calls and focus more on, because we
Okay.
dispatch too. So we have radios and the 911. So instead of kind of sitting there and being all these city secretaries, the AI helps with that.
Okay. So I just thought of another question too. Going back to when you were talking to the guy who had broken English, what do you do whenever you get somebody that's calling, they know 911 and they have broken English and they're in emergency? What is the steps that you have to follow whenever that happens? And you can tell that there's something going on in the background. What is the protocol for that?
So we actually have a police language line. So we are able to transfer this call. At least with Spanish, I don't know other languages. I probably should at least get the minimal, like don't hang up and stuff. But like with Spanish, I can tell them don't hang up, stay on the line, and I can transfer them to the language line where I stay on the phone with them while they translate for me and the caller back and forth.
Yeah,
So,
you know what? I was just thinking about this. And maybe this will be in the near future, but I honestly think that it should be in every 911 station. There should be somebody that is fluently in Spanish, that knows Spanish there. Like somebody on that shift always knows Spanish so that they can translate of all of a Spanish language to you. That'd be
mhm.
pretty cool if that was available.
It it would be very helpful. But I mean, just like probably any career out there, there's such a shortage. Um,
Right.
uh, it would be very convenient. I have worked on a crew before where we did have a Spanish speaking dispatcher. It is quite convenient, but then there's other languages too. So you
I
can't,
know, I know. I
yeah.
was just thinking about that. So what I'm thinking here is instead of having somebody directly on site, because sometimes people don't want to work nowadays. There are people that do want to work, they can't find work, and there are people that just want to hang out. I was thinking that if they came out with a program that was able for you to have, do you use English being your main language, it would automatically transfer the language over. Like it kind of would
Hmm.
communicate with you, like, hey, this person is speaking a different language, and
Yeah,
it's going to change over so that so it can interpret to you exactly what they're saying. That'd be awesome. You know what I mean? That'd be pretty cool if
that
they
would
can
be.
come out with it. I'm sure they will. They will.
Probably. I mean, they already have the earbuds and stuff where you can do that. So,
You know what? With those earbuds, I thought about purchasing those. I don't know if they work.
mm,
Do you know anybody
yeah.
that has those earbuds that translate them?
I don't know anybody that has them. I've seen some videos, but I mean,
Yeah, yeah, I'm kind of feel like, how much does that really
hmm,
work? Like, does it
yeah,
really work? Is it that effective? Do you have to know the exact or is there slang available, or is it just like by the book language? So yeah,
right.
you know how technology keeps on evolving. I do have another question for you. Whenever it comes down to this career right here, what is one story that sticks to you and makes you very, very proud of the job that you got? I mean, granted that you've been there for 10 years, so you love your job, but what is that one story that you can kind of tell us that was kind of that job, that story or that call where you're like, man, I love this. Is there anything stick out to you?
Yeah. So I took a call for childbirth. Well, she was in labor. So
Hmm.
I new parents probably won't know this, but like women, you know that if this is your second, third, fourth baby, that baby is coming quicker. So this lady woke up in the middle of the night. Her water broke while she was sleeping. Apparently, she had contractions, high pain tolerance. So she woke up and she knew the baby was coming. So she
Hmm.
got in the bathtub. Uh, One of the family members was there just in case they knew the baby was coming soon. So they called 911. She's giving birth to the baby. So I had to give instructions, tell everybody what to do, what they needed. She gave birth to the baby in the bathtub, but the baby wasn't breathing. So that was kind of my like, oh God, oh God. Like,
Like, oh my.
um, yeah, so but you have to stay in that moment. Like it's scary that this baby is not breathing, but I still have a job to do, and everybody else is panicking. So gave them the instructions, and baby eventually started breathing, and that was my like okay,
Did you hear the baby start to cry, or how did you
hmm,
get that
yeah,
indication?
yeah,
You
the
heard the
baby
baby
started
crying?
crying. Hmm. Yep.
I know you
So
wanted
that
to
was
be
my yeah,
like,
yes, yeah, that was definitely a because if it I mean, you can only do so much by phone. So, and I'm definitely one where I'm like, I want to jump into action, but I can't because I'm over here. But to
right.
know that my instructions, they listened to my instructions. I gave them well enough to where they knew what they needed to do and they got that baby breathing. So,
Yeah. Without getting too much into it, whenever you're dealing with a child call, do you kind of back down and try to get onto their level and try to have them paint you a picture of what's going on so you can decide if this is a prank call, if this is a real call?
you know almost immediately if it's a prank call or real call. Um, I probably almost every dispatcher will tell you kids are our best callers.
Really?
Because they're very observant, they're honest, they will tell you exactly what they seen, who did it, they're really good. I mean, you do have to take it down a level because you have to build
Mhm.
that connection with the child. Because children are taught don't talk to strangers. But if if they're taught well, they know 911, they're
It's
there
good.
for you. So, um, every child caller I've had, I've never had issues. I can
Okay.
connect with them. They'll tell me a whole story, like, which is great. Hmm.
Yeah, they'll tell you the whole story from the beginning
Hmm.
to end to currently
Yes.
what's going on. Isn't that so wild? Is that like these kids, they can take in so much information
Hmm.
and at a heightened moment, and they can tell you exactly what happened step by step.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty cool. So,
Yeah.
another question I had for you was looking at exactly what you do and in the future, in your career. Would you definitely say that, this is something that you would encourage other people to get into to do?
Mhm. Yeah, I would definitely. If you feel like this is something you're interested in, um, most local departments, depending every department's different, but most departments will allow you to do a sit-in with dispatch, or if you want to be a police officer or paramedic, like most departments will allow you to do a sit-in or a ride along to see like how it actually works in the background. And you can sit there and see like, hey, this is something I might actually really like to do. Or you might say, I don't think I can do this, and that's fine too. But it's a good career.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good career. Obviously, you've been there and you enjoy exactly what you
Hmm.
do. I got two
Yeah.
little rapid questions for you, kind of. Here we go. So you gotta pick one. Uh, Coffee or energy drink?
Energy drink.
What is the longest shift that you ever worked that you can remember?
The I wanna say like a 17-hour. It was flooding, so
Okay. 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 17 hours.
mhm.
Okay. Well, that's a good one there. And I appreciate you coming on here telling us a little bit about dispatching in your location. I like to ask everybody this question before you get off of here. If you could describe your life right now, currently in a couple words, what would you say that it is, Ashley?
Um, I would say peaceful, chaotic, and blessed.
Okay.
It's kind of
Yeah, that,
it's
that
kinda
makes a
all
lot of
over there,
sense.
but
I
yeah.
mean, hey, listen, that's kind of sweet, kind of hot, I mean,
Mhm.
it's chaotic, whenever you get there because you are the person that the people need to talk to when they're in a chaotic situation. And also, the fact is that it's peaceful for you because whenever you leave there, now you can
Mhm.
decompress and get on with your life. And also blessed. I would say, I mean, you correct me if I'm wrong, but you feel blessed because of the simple fact is that whenever you think you're having a bad, you hear all the bad calls. So
Yeah.
you're thankful that you're not in some of those situations that people are going through
Mhm.
sometimes.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
That's awesome, Ashley. I appreciate you coming on to the show tonight and talking to us a little bit about what you do in the background of that 911 call. Thank you for your service. I really appreciate
Oh,
what you do.
thank you.
We really do.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, then. Okay, then. All right, y'all. Well, that's another show, and I will talk to y'all later.